So how to diagnose if the how to diagnose a pedigree in how to categorize it into different types. So first we see the generations. In the pedigree, we see if the disease is present in every generation, or either the disease is present in there is a skipping of generation. So if the disease is present in the pedigree, if the disease is present in every generation, it is either a mitochondrial inheritance or either a dominant inheritance. And if there is a skip generation, then it is a recessive conditions. In the mitochondrial inheritance, first point is it is present in every generation in all. Second point is it is spread from mom to all the children. So whenever the mom is involved and it is mom causing to all the children, it is mitochondrial, and always rule out this first. Then we have left a dominant part. We have the X-linked dominant and autosomal dominant. For X-linked dominant, we have seen that there is no male-to-male transmission, no male-to-male transmission present in every generation, no male-to-male transmission, and dad is causing dad to daughter transmission, then it is X-linked dominant case. But if these two criteria does not met, there is a male to male transmission, father to son, then it is autosomal dominant. Likewise, in the skip generations of the recessive part, we have the X-linked recessive cases and autosomal recessive cases. For X-linked recessive cases, if there is a skip generation and we have no male to male participation, no father to son transmission, also we see unaffected mom affect the sons regardless of the percentage, then it is X-linked recessive. And in the autosomal recessive, we haven't seen anything like unaffected. So autosomal recessive is the last point to consider. So first step is always rule out mitochondrial inheritance. Second step is differentiate the dominance, the dominant one, X-linked dominant and autosomal dominant. And the third step is skip generation and also see this male unaffected mom to son. And the last part is autosomal recessive. So this is a general algorithm in order to diagnose the pedigree of different conditions, the pedigree of different conditions, that this problem goes to which category of inheritance pattern. So first one we have here is first rule out category is mitochondrial inheritance. We have seen it is present in every generation. We have known that present in that mom causes all children disease. So in this category we also in this category, in the mitochondrial part, we have seen this two main parts of mitochondrial inheritance. So what happened? Mitochondria is the organelle which is producing ATP in the cell. So if there is mitochondrial abnormality, so automatically abnormal mitochondria can causes energy production abnormality like lactic acidosis. So lactic acidosis in especially the high metabolic tissues like central nervous system and muscular system. So we have a condition for this which is known as MELA, and in the MELAs we have the mitochondrial encephalopathy, with lactic acidosis, stroke like episodes. So this is the first type of disease which is present in mitochondrial inheritance and mitochondrial abnormality. The next one is MRF. This MRF, which is myoclonic type of seizures, epilepsy, red raked fibers. So we have second condition to these two conditions. Then we have the Leber hereditary optic neuropathy, in which there is a permanent optic nerve neuronal death, and this neuronal death can cause subacute bilateral vision loss, and this is complicated by the complication of this disease is cardiac conduction defects, and also there is a neuronal dysfunction. As we know that mitochondria is the organelle which is transmissible from from maternal to the rest of the siblings. So during mitosis, there is a random distribution. There is a random distribution of mitochondria, like including normal and mutated or abnormal mitochondria, and this random distribution of mitochondria in the progeny can causes variable expression, which is the variable expression mean two different person having the same genome of the disease but having the different severity of expression or different severity of the disease. So two person, same disease, different symptoms. This is known as variable expressivity, and this phenomena is called heteroplasmy. So this is all about the mitochondrial type of inheritance. The next one we have, and this is the rule out inheritance. The next one is mitochondrial now dominant. In the dominant we have two conditions, the dominant, and in the dominant we have the X-linked dominant. In the X-linked dominant part, we have seen that there is no male to male transmission, and also dad causing all the daughters affected. So in the pedigree we have seen the daughters are affected by their fathers. So in this dominant category we have three problems. We have Fragile X syndrome, we have seen Alport, and also we have seen rickets, which is a type which is also called phosphate, which is the defect of phosphate wasting in the proximal convoluted tubule, causing the hypophosphatemia, rickets like symptoms. After XLD we have this autosomal dominant condition. Again, it's a dominant one, so it is present in every generation, and also there is no dad to daughter problem, rather male to male, father to son transmission. In this category we have some diseases, very powerful dominant humans. So V for von Willebrand disease or von Hippel-Lindau disease, and then P for pseudo hypoparathyroidism. D4 we have the dystrophies, muscular dystrophy, myotonic muscular dystrophy. Then we have the oculoalbinism. Then we have the Marfan syndrome, and I for acute intermittent porphyria. N for we have neurofibromatosis 1 and 2. A for achondroplasia or the achondroplasia and acute autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. N is silent. T for tuberous sclerosis, and H for Huntington disease, very favorite, hereditary spherocytosis. Then we have the hypercholesterolemia, and then hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. So these are conditions which follow the autosomal dominant part, and in this autosomal dominant we have seen there is a structural gene defect, and also at least one parent is heterozygote. One heterozygote parent is present in order to cause half of the children affected. And this type of autosomal dominance show the pleiotropy and variable expressivity. We have known that variable expressivity mean two persons, one disease, but different signs and symptoms. And in pleiotropy mean one gene defect causes multiple effect. This is autosomal dominant. Now we have left the skip generational part. So in the skip generations, the X-linked recessive case, and in the X-linked recessive case we have known that there is a skip of the generation. There is no male to male transmission. Also there is if the dad is affected, it can causes all the daughters to be all carrier daughter. If mom is affected, or mom is carrier, or mom is heterozygote, then it can causes 50% of his sons to be affected. And why all these females are carrier? The question is why all females are carrier irrespective of the presence of the defective gene. This is because of the physiological phenomena in which there is a random, during development there is a random inactivation or deactivation or hypermethylation. There is inactivation, deactivation or hypermethylation of one of the X chromosome, either dad one or the mom one X chromosome in the female cell, which can causes which made into Barr bodies, and this inactivation or hypermethylation is causing the females to be carrier, prevent the females of having expression of the disease. But if there is a phenomena known as lyonization, in which there is this random methylation gets skewed or biased. So whenever there is a random there is non-random skewed inactivation of this X chromosome, then it can causes all the X-linked diseases in the females. There is a which it can leads to all the X-linked diseases in the females. So now so the X-linked diseases in the female is penetrated, and there is a severity. So there is a penetrance and severity issue. So now the female has the diseases. So this is the saving mechanism which save the females irrespective of the presence of the X defective X chromosome. After this, we have seen a lot of questions regarding the probability section. So if there is a question in which it says that a sister of an X-linked recessive affected diseased brother is going to conceive. So now this sister may give rise to give rise to an XLR child having the chance of 1 by 8, which we calculate from P1 into P2 into P3. So the probability of a child to be affected if his maternal uncle is affected, then it is 1 by 8. And how we will predict that? The first probability is if this sister of this affected brother is a carrier. So either it is a carrier or not a carrier. So carrier status of the sister, if the sister is carrier, this is the chance, the chance is 50%, carrier or not carrier. Second thing is, if the child present, if the newborn, if the child sex is male, then 50% of the male present from the 50% of the male from the heterozygote sister is affected. And this statement is quoted from this line: the mom, which is carrier heterozygote, can produces half of his son affected. So this is the second probability. Third probability is this, that if the sister, this sister is a carrier, and there is a chances that 50% is the chance that this carrier sister or carrier mother sister can 50% chance that she transfer that gene, X-linked recessive gene, into his son or not. So that chance is 50%. So when we multiply 1 by 2, 1 by 2 and 1 by 2, we have the answer 1 to 2 into 4, 4 into 8. So there is a 1 by 8 chance of that child having a maternal uncle to be affected. So this is X-linked recessive probability. This is very important, very much tested, and this is very confusing. After that, we have a mnemonic for this, that be wise, fools. I have taken this mnemonic from Randy Neal YouTube channel. You can also log in to watch his video. His videos are very much effective. So be wise, fool, gold heeds silly hopes. So B for Bruton, A gamma, Bruton immunodeficiencies, and then W for wise. So Wiskott-Aldrich syndrome, then F for Fabry disease, G for G6PD deficiency, very much tested, O for oculoalbinism, L for Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, D for dystrophies, Duchenne and Becker's, then HS for Hunter syndrome, and H for hemophilia. So this is all about X-linked recessive. So now we have left, if all the 3 points are not applicable, then it is X-linked recessive. Simple. So in the then it is the autosomal recessive. So in the autosomal recessive, we have the skip generation effect. We also have skip generation, and also all the 3 points are not valid. So in the first aid, we have the mnemonic: oh please can student of school whose score high grade. Tell me about features of kidney disease or kidney disease, that is PXR. So this is O for oculocutaneous albinism, P for PKU, very much tested, C for cystic fibrosis, very much important. As for sickle cell disease, again, where then we have the Wilson disease again, then we have this sphingolipidosis except Fabry. Then we have this H for hemochromatosis, very much tested. Then we have S again, as for sickle cell disease. Then we have sphingolipids. Oh, please, can student who score high grade G for glycogen storage disease, T for thalassemia, M for mucopolysaccharidosis and Friedreich ataxia, and K for Cardnager, and also the autosomal recessive kidney disease. So next we have its feature. It is present in the childhood. It is the enzyme deficiency problem. Then we have it is seen only in one generation. So in the upper pedigree and in the lower generation there is no problem. So this one, and also we have the increased risk in the consanguineous marriages or cousin marriages. Then we have there is, if two heterozygote mean carrier parents, then there is a chance of 25% are okay, 50% are carrier, and only 25% are affected. Or we can say that 3:1 or 75:25 are the 25% are affected and 3 or 75% are non-affected. So now there is a probability question over here. So the probability in the UWorld we have the probability of being carrier of affected sibling, brother or sister. And if a person is having an affected brother from these diseases, then the probability of these normal children are 2/3. This is the probability of being carrier is 2/3, and there is 50% of chances that they pass the sperm, pass that gene, or 50% chances they not passing the gene. So if we multiply these two probability, we give the 33% of chances of the affected upcoming children of the maternal uncle affected is also affected. So 33% chances of a child being affected from autosomal recessive disease if his maternal uncle or if the mother brother is affected from this condition. So there are one brother suffering from autosomal recessive condition and his sister which is normal. So her being carrier is 2/3 chance. So if she passed that sperm, then it is 33% chance of his child affected. So this is all about the 4 different categories of mode of inheritance pattern.